What up, y'all? It's the Real World Watcher. Grab your binoculars, back with another video. Let's keep this marathon going. I know I missed last week. Or not last week, yesterday. I had some car trouble. But I'm back. Child Robinson. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Let's get into it right now. Alright. My guy Chop actually went to Maryland. I didn't even peep that. His first year he went to Maryland. Anyways, stats. Let's get into it. 6'2", 254, 76 and 1/4 length arms or wingspan. 21 years old. So, a little bit of shorter arms, a little bit of a shorter kind of defensive end. Not necessarily super short, but a little bit on the shorter end. 6'2", 6'1", around there. But 2018, 8 games in Maryland, 19 tackles total, 12 solos, 7 assists, 2 sacks, and 2 TFLs. 2022, first year at Penn State with the Navy Lions. 12 games, 26 total tackles, 19 solos, 7 assists, 5.5 sacks, 10 TFLs. Probably his best year overall stats-wise, but he did play the most games also. So, 10 games played in his last year, or this last year, 15 total tackles, 12 solo, 3 assists, 4 sacks, only 7.5 TFLs compared to 10 the year before. But still, you know, a pretty decent mark when it comes to tackles for loss. You got to think with these Penn State guys, they don't put up stats. That's just not their MO. But let's go ahead and get into the film. Let's not waste too much time. Now, the first thing you're going to notice with Chop, amazing get off. Or fat/first step, I mean explosive. The guy just explodes off the line. Probably going to have one of the quickest first steps in the NFL as soon as the day he's drafted. Like, one of the quickest first steps I've ever seen. Gets off the line crazy, just explodes off the line. Really, really good player when it comes to that. Really, really good get off. Anyways, we've seen him with the 10-yard split. We've seen him with the 40. He's explosive. Seen him with the broad jump, all that. Whatever. Good, but not great bend, though. That's the next point. Good, but not great bend. Usually with those top tier alpha, greatest of all time elite rushers, if they have that amazing get off and they can pair that with some elite bend, sayonara. Easily some of the best speed rushers in the league come with those two categories put together. But still good bend, not great, but still really, really good bend. He can bend the corner, he can get around, he can dip and get much lower than the tackles that are much taller than him can get because of his leverage. So he plays well with his leverage and the run game also. But really good bend still. Not, like I said, it's not a lead or anything, but still really, really good bend. Still going to be able to get around that corner. Like I said, get lower than the pad depth of the tackle, make them miss. Maybe can add a ghost move to his arsenal. Maybe. Little Brian Burns shout out. But really good bend though. Also, strong punch and strong hands in general. I mean, he can really come and pop. He got a lot of pop in his hands. I don't know if he was boxing in the background or something in his background, but the strong pop and punch in his hands and strong hands in the run game, he's really, really great. Really, really great. Really strong hands. Really going to help him with the pass rush. Really going to help him in run game. Help him all around in his game. Because of that strong punch and pop in his hands, he has a great push-pull move. You know, usually push-pull, you pop a guy, kind of getting in your run set. You look, they're going. Now we're going to pull, rip off, get past you. Really, really good push-pull move. Really, really good pop in his hands. Helps him with that. And also, what are you doing? And also, anyways, also his bend and his speed helps him with that because he's able to explode off the line, pop you with those hands, you stand back up, and now he's pulling you back down and blowing by you. I know that looked kind of crazy on camera, but real defensive linemen know what I mean. Anyways, great rushing from the interior with speed and power. We've seen it a lot this year with Myles Garrett. Mainly we've seen it with Micah Parsons. Panthers fans, we've seen it with Frankie Louvu. He will stand up over the center. He'll even get in 3-point stance versus a guard, and he can bull rush both of those positions back into the quarterback if he needs to with his speed. He just goes speed to power and puts his hand and that pop in his hands and just push guys into the quarterback's lap at times. Or he can get above the guard, he can get above the center, give them a one quick 2 moves, swipe their hands off, dip below him, and just beat them with speed around the inside. I mean, I can't even say around the edge because he's in the interior. So he's going to be a guy that you can move around the defensive line on those pass sets and really disturb the offensive line. You can use them on stunts, things like that. Easily can win inside with speed or power. So really, really good trait to have as a pass rusher, especially in the league now where we're seeing these guys move around and being much more chess pieces, things like that. Also, great anchor in the run game. I talked about this with the pop in his hands. He's going to get that good pop, but he also has strong enough arms and hands and base to stay at the edge or keep the edge, hold that edge, extend that arm, kind of extend that arm into the offensive lineman's chest and hold that position. So, you know, the run can get bounced back inside, or if it comes out, he can get off the tackle and basically make the tackle. Get off the offensive lineman and make the tackle. Get off the tackle and make the tackle. Crazy. But really, really good anchor in the run game. Also, he can use his explosiveness just to blow up the run game. There's plenty of times where they're in a goal line or short yardage situation. He's just getting that 4-point stance, and he's not even looking. His head is just down. He see the ball snap, boom. He's just blowing off the ball, getting off the ball, and kind of using his shoulder to shield guys off. And he's just in the backfield, which makes the running back either hesitate or the quarterback kind of hurry up and rush the handoff. Things like that just disrupts the play, so the rest of the guys around him can rally around and make the play. Even if he isn't near the play, he's shown it ability a lot just to blow up the run. And if the run is to that side, even if he doesn't make the tackle, even if he doesn't see the running back, like I said, his head's down, it makes the running back take a pause, because now he has to find a different way to his hole or a different opening, things like that. And that's going to help a lot in the run game and a lot in the short yardage situation. Like I said, just really explosive, dude. Just really, really explosive and athletic and fast. All that, really, bro. Improved hand usage over time. I will say, when you first start watching him at Penn State, I didn't watch any Maryland games. I didn't have any, sorry. But when you first start watching him at Penn State, he kind of was a one-trick, run past you, run through you. But as you see him get to his first year and then go into this year, he's using a lot more clubs. He's using a lot more hand swipes. He's using a lot more dips, a little bit, using the bull rush a lot more. He's using his hands a lot better in the pass rushing game. So that shows just in that 1 year of improvement that he is going to work hard and improve at those things. So when you talk about a guy with some upside, those guys where it's like, oh, he's really explosive, he's really athletic, he's really this, but you need to add some pass moves to his set. You need to add some pass rush moves to his arsenal, things like that. He has shown the ability to improve that and add those moves and use his hands a lot more just in 1 year of time. So that's a good sign as a prospect. But let's get into the stuff that's not really his game. You know, I really like his game. And I ain't gonna lie, it's a good little bit of stuff that's not really his game. First thing, arm length. We talk about that arm length, 76 inches. Not super duper long. When you talk about arm length when it comes to defensive players, even offensive tackles, but defensive players, it can be overcome regardless. He's overcome with his explosiveness, speeds, things like that, and his bend. But whenever you're in the run game, and I talk about having that extension where you're holding that anchor, if you can't reach the other guy when his arms are on you and extended, that's your arm length. Being able to swipe guys' arm away, being able to keep the offensive lineman off you whenever you're pass rushing, keep him extended, that goes into your arm length. So he does have a little bit shorter arms, and that could be an issue at the next level. It could be a thing and that's something you can't really fix. But that's something to kind of hold a pause on a little bit for when you're evaluating him or you want him on your team. The arm length isn't super, super duper ideal or super, super crazy. Anyways, needs to add more moves to his pass rush bag. I kind of alluded to this in the last slide, I guess you could say. Like I said, when he first started out, he was basically just exploding off the ball, kind of trying to get around the edge, beat the guy around the edge, or kind of run through the guy. And he got caught up in a whole bunch of hugging a lot, especially in those Ohio State games against DeJuan Jones, things like that, against Paris Johnson. But he has shown the ability to use more moves in that next year at Penn State. So you want to see him use more moves to his arsenal. You want to see him add a cross chop. Like I said, add a ghost move. Maybe a spin move if you can. Since you're so explosive, maybe a spin move, which kind of leads into my next point. He needs to add more counters to his bag. Kind of using an inside move. Whenever a guy jumps out on you, don't continue to go outside, because that's what he's trying to do. Now you're flushing yourself outside, and maybe you do beat him, but since you're so flanked out, now it's going to take longer to get to the quarterback. Ball's gone. If a guy jumps out on you, I want to see him, cross chop, maybe get inside a little bit. Do what Brian Burns all the time. Brian Burns loves flexing outside and then just quick cross, quick chop with his hands. He's inside at the quarterback. So add some more counters to your bag. Like I said, it was plenty of times where he was in hugging matches with DeJuan Jones. He was in hugging matches with Paris Johnson, because it's like once that first move doesn't work, he doesn't really have much else. So I want to see him add a couple counters, a couple crossovers, a couple, some spades in his hands, I just want to see him add a little bit more to his moveset and add a little bit more counters on the fly. Let me say counters on the fly, because, of course, pass rush moves is one thing. That's your first plan. But I want to see him have a backup plan whenever he gets beat. And then eventually add a third plan. Hey, that doesn't work either. All right, let's do a third thing. But let's focus on getting more moves in your bag first. Approach it this way, approach it this way, approach it this way. Then, after you get more moves in your bag, let's focus on, that move isn't working. What can we do to counter off of that? I see he jumped out on me early on the fly. What do I do after that? I see that he's taking a super hard pass set inside. What can I do to open up and counter that? So add more counters to your bag, things like that on the fly. Also, awareness in the run game. I talked about how he has a really good anchor, really good pop in his hands. But sometimes whenever he's anchored and he's just having that guy extended, seems like his head is down or not necessarily looking. So the run kind of runs into him or past him, and then he gets off and makes the tackle. I want to see him just have a little bit more awareness and be able to shed before the ball gets there, because he can have a couple more TFLs if he does that, and be better in the run game all around and have better stats all around, more tackles, things like that. Talked about it before. Last point. He doesn't have elite bend. You see him when he's coming around the corner sometimes. He slips and falls. Maybe it's because of his cleats. I've seen somebody say it could be because of his cleats. If he make different cleat choices, he'll stay up. Or I think it's probably because he doesn't have super elite bend. But he's still, like I said, still pretty good bend. But if he did have elite bend, man, he'd be easily top 2 pass rushers in this class, just based off the explosive first step and speed that he has around the edge. And then you give that elite bend, whoo, nasty. But, those stuff that's not his game. Some of these things you can improve, some of these things you can't. A lot of them you can't improve, at least the middle 3. So, still a really, really good player. Let's get into his player build. Now, today we have built an explosive chess piece. When I say this, I don't mean that he can play linebacker, he can play safety, he can play all that. He's a chess piece along the defensive line. He can play with his hand in the dirt. At 4-3 end, he can play standing up at 3-4 end. He can rush from the middle like a stand-up linebacker, kind of how Zadarius Smith does. A lot, really, really good at that. So is Chop Robinson. I almost had this as shades of Zadarius Smith, just because both of them are really good rushing from that middle. Or like Micah Parsons, things like that. You can use him on stunts. He can be the looper on the stunt. He could be the guy that kind of just runs into the guys and gets them to fold into each other so the other guy can loop around. Also, I've seen him drop in coverage. I wouldn't say drop him in coverage 24/7, play him a stand-up linebacker off or things like that. But I've seen him drop into the flat. I've seen him drop into the hook. He has the athleticism to, maybe do that here and there, just to, mix it up, throw a couple blitzes, zone blitzes at the defense. He has that ability. So movable chess piece, movable pass rushing chess piece especially, and very, very explosive, man. Very explosive. First shades of Robert Mathis. Robert Mathis simply is just a really good speed rusher. Really, really fast off the line. Good first step. Explosive athlete. Wins in the same way that Chop Robinson does when it comes to athleticism, things like that. Next person, surprisingly, Boye Mafe. I think Boye Mafe showed that he has a lot of pop in his hands this year in the run game. I think both of them are kind of similar as run defenders. That's where this comp comes from. And Boye Mafe has a really, really good bull rush. So I get that bull rush and that run defense and the pop in their hands. That's what this is similar. That's what the shades of Boye Mafe and our boy Chop Robinson are to me. Last one, Vic Beasley. Vic Beasley is a guy, if Boye Mafe never adds, some counters to his game, he doesn't add too many more moves, the highest I can see is, hey, maybe he's Vic Beasley. He's this really, really explosive guy off the edge. Maybe one year he just has an amazing year and gets 15 sacks. And in the other years he falls off, or he's just like a 6, 4, 5 sack guy. I could have put YGM on here also, but yeah, that's basically the shades of. It's not too much to talk about when you're talking about the shades of for these defensive ends, because it's just the way they win, and it's kind of how they are in the run game. But still a really, really good player. I think he's a high second round, maybe back end of the first round if you're taking a luxury pick type player. I wouldn't take him in the middle or first or early in the first round, just because he is a little bit raw and he needs some more nuance to his game. But he's a really, really good player. And for the Panthers, who are prioritizing edge, we heard what Dave Canales said when he first got here, how he talked glowingly about the playoff edge rushers and how the deeper in the playoffs are, your better your pass rush should be and is. So, and also just needing somebody opposite of Burns or to replace Burns if he gets traded or let go. All that hopefully is opposite of Burns, because these two on the opposite side of each other. Whoo, and Burns teaching him those ghost moves, counter moves, things like that. Whoo, nasty. But that's all I got for Chop Robinson. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Appreciate me while you got me, because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Neither do you. So thank God, thank the man above. Anyways, yeah, I'm out, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow.